Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to an Ask the Accountant special. We're on location, we're here, and we're about to show you a very, very cool location. We're in the wonderful place of Guernsey. And we've got TCS here, and they're going to be showing us around. I promise you this is going to be a very, very exciting episode of We Have Cool Locations. And we're going to show you why we think this is one of the coolest locations around. Roll the intro. Okay, so before we start, here we are on the roof of the office themselves, and we've got Tim and Millie here. Tim, first of all, if anyone doesn't know who you are, who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Tim Chilstone. I started TCS Guernsey 6.5 years ago by mistake after moving to Guernsey on a whim, which is kind of a long story that I won't bore you with. And we now employ 6.5 people. And we have around 100 clients, both sort of bookkeeping and accounts, payroll, and our subsidiary epos.gg.
And we're going to be talking more about later. The award-winning Millie. Millie, who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Amelia Goodbert. I'm Operations Manager at TCS. I've been here nearly 5 years now, and I just make sure that everyone gets everything done that they're meant to every day.
Including him, right?
Yeah, it's hard work.
Mostly me.
Yeah, it is mostly Tim. Mostly Tim is in trouble.
So, if you're interested in the inner workings of a bookkeeping firm, then stay tuned. Because we're all nosy, right? We all want to know what goes in and out, what software they use. We want to figure out who they employ, what dogs they have in the office. Then this is a video for you. Let's go and have a look.
Do you need me to do a bit of a song? No. Okay, sorry, I'll put it back.
Okay, team, we are here at location, cool location. We're loving this. This is nice beach view as well, so we get here. And we wanted to talk about your story. Tim, take us away.
So I started TCS by mistake, as I keep saying to people. What really happened is, when we moved to Guernsey 8 years ago, I worked for a start-up airline. And startups often fail and airlines often fail, so you can imagine how frequently startup airlines failed. It was actually a really cool concept. It was light aircraft, sort of 8-10 seats, flying on demand between Guernsey and Jersey, and there was a whole aircraft management bit of software and everything like that. But as with a lot of startups, the investment just sort of didn't keep up pace with the company, and it closed. There was also some judicial reviews and such from an incumbent airline. And so I met a load of really interesting people through that. And then I was temping straight after that because, you know, everyone needs money, right? And I'd always toyed with the idea of doing something like TCS for about the previous 10 years. And every time that I'd thought, OK, let's actually give it a go, something more stable and safe had come along. So, you know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to start my own business and like become a bookkeeper or do whatever. And then someone goes, oh, you could do that. Or you can go and do this easy 9-to-5 job and I'll pay you 40 grand and you'll be happy. And every time previously I'd been a bit risk averse and not taking the risk. But this time I was lucky enough that one of the people I'd met through the airline business needed 6 months of part-time support, and he was willing to do it on a subcontracted basis. So that was the kickstart. And then somebody else that I'd met through the same endeavour was willing to lend me the 800 quid or so that I needed to incorporate a company and get a year's worth of PI insurance. And so that's where it started, really. And I picked up a few clients. It was all word of mouth, all referral, and that's the origin of TCS, really. It started in the corner of I always knew I didn't want to work from home because I can't stand working from home for various reasons. It ruins both work and your home life, because work's always there looking at you and you're at work. And also when you work from home, a lot of the time, like a lot of people, I think will appreciate this. Yeah. If you work from home and you live with someone who doesn't work from home, the assumption is always, oh, I can just put this laundry on and you'll be able to get it out at 10 in the morning, right? And not maliciously or anything, but I knew that would definitely happen because I knew that I would tell myself that. Like, it wasn't anyone else telling me. I would be like, oh, I can just, stop for 5 minutes and do the washing up, or I can stop for 20 minutes and clean the windows or whatever. And I would never do any work. And then in the evening when I was trying to not do any work, that's when I would end up doing loads of work. So I spoke to a few people and I was like, look, you've got a spare desk in your office. Lend me your desk in the corner of your office. And a guy called Chris lent me a desk in the corner of his office for 4 or 5 months. And then he did the same with a couple of other people. And then we all ended up moving into another office together that we shared, which was the office that we were in when Millie joined.
Before we go to Millie, though, how did you get into EPOS?
So, again, by mistake.
Yeah. I see, there's a
no,
theme
everything I've done in my life has been by mistake, and most of it's worked out well. I met my wife in the back of a taxi, and that worked out okay. There were other people in the taxi as well, right? It wasn't that sort of back of a taxi. So a lot of our clients are retail and hospitality just because of, number one, I've always had a bit of a background in hospitality and retail, as well as doing accounting and bookkeeping. I've often had a second job, and that second job was often in a pub or in a shop. My first ever job when I was like 13, 14 years old was in a local convenience store, and I've been a store manager for a national retailer previously and all sorts. So number one, it just kind of interests me. Sometimes you can't explain it, right? This is interesting just because it is. And secondly, it was about advising our clients, okay, so what do you need in an EPOS system? What's going to be the best one for you? Because the best one for person A isn't necessarily the best one for person B, okay? So after doing that for a bit, I kind of realised, well, hang on a minute, I could be selling these systems as well as just going, oh, I think this one's really good. We can make, a bit of money out of it, but also we can help support our clients. And I think I just glossed over that, but actually one of the important things is that we can make a bit of money out of it, because I think that as accountants and bookkeepers, we're quite often embarrassed about making money, but we shouldn't be, because it's a business. We exist to make money. We don't exist to do stuff for free. And whilst we do all get amazing amounts of satisfaction out of providing really good service and supporting our clients, we also get satisfaction from actually making money and being able to pay the rent, right?
Yeah, it's got to be sustainable, isn't it?
So we don't make thousands and thousands from EPOS. It's not a huge money spinner, and that's not the main reason for it, but it's certainly a factor. So it was a case of, why are we, we're leaving money on the table, really. Why are we just advising people, oh, you should go and buy X, when we could be selling them X?
And Millie, I want you to talk to us about your story about ICB and how that came about.
Yes, so after I'd been at TCS, was it 9 months we said?
Ish, yeah.
About 9 months in, I decided that I wasn't going to be going anywhere. I actually quite enjoyed it, but if I was going to stay, I wanted to get qualifications and kind of do it properly.
Yeah, because at that point you had no practicing certificate, or
No. So I think we Googled bookkeeping or accounting.
No, not quite. I think sorry, not to butt in, I'd had some assorted exposure to the existence of ICB before, and the existence of AAT as well. Yeah. And back in the old days, AAT was always the one. And my first account assistant job, they're like, oh, you could do AAT, and I never did. So we did Google it, and we did compare the qualifications, and we did a bit of research into it. But the main driver for ICB versus everything else was that it more closely matched with what the business does, really.
Thank you for clarifying.
My memory's better than yours.
Yeah, I'm really bad with remembering dates and things. So then we decided that I was going to do my level 2 certificate in bookkeeping with ICB. And when I was about halfway through that, we went to Accountex for the first time. Yeah. And that's where I met Amy for the first time.
On stand, was it?
Yeah, at Accountex. Okay. She was the first person we spoke to from ICB. So it was immediately a very warm welcome. And then after meeting Amy and speaking to some of the team at ICB, I just knew that was definitely the right decision to have made. They were asking how the exam was going. They were very proud of how well everything was going. So yeah, we just decided to carry on with ICB. So now I've done my level 2, my level 3. I did my payroll diploma, and now I'm on advisory council as well.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I did my level 4 certificate. Nearly forgot about that. Thank you, Hannah.
So what does it mean to be on the advisory council then?
So on the advisory council, I get to learn all the secrets. No, I think ICB take what their members have to say very seriously, and they want to hear what everyone has to say. They want to improve. They want to offer the best service to their members. So 4 times a year we will meet and discuss what we've heard being brought up a few times, if anyone's having issues, good feedback, bad feedback, and just help make some of the decisions around what they're going to do in the future.
I love that.
It's very fun. I
love
enjoy
that.
it.
And Luca Awards as well. You're not a Luca Award winner?
Yes, I won Student of the Year in 2024, which I was very proud of. The exams are not easy for a reason. It means that once you are certified, you really feel like you've earned it. So this year I'm putting Hannah in for Student of the Year, and Zoe if she gets her exam done. But yeah, we love the Luca Awards because it's just for the ICB bookkeepers and then the software too. But yeah, it's very exciting to be shortlisted or win a Luca Award.
I love that. And Hannah, let's talk culture, because you weren't prepared for this question,
No, I
right?
wasn't prepared at all.
Apparently we're going to talk about why you're the mum of the group, but I want to know, because we've asked that question already, but I want to know why TCS? Why? Because you've been in other places before. What draws you to working here? And just remember who's to either side of you.
I'll watch my words. No, I think it's just a very chill place. I didn't really know what to expect when I first started, because I went from a very different industry and stuff to coming here, and you have the image in your head, and I'd always said I'll never work in an office, I'll never work at a desk job, but yes, this is a desk job, but it's so varied and so different. And
Look how different this desk
Well,
is.
it's a different desk. Lovely desk today. It's
Really
very
well
tidy.
finished
It's
desk.
actually quite tidy for us, isn't it? So I never would have a desk job, but I think being at TCS is very varied. We do so much stuff as an office. We go out, we're not always at our desks, or we're going out and I do some EPOS stuff with Tim, or going out to different clients, and I think it's just very varied. So it's definitely not just your normal 9-to-5 job at a desk.
I love that. And then also with the culture side of things, what's been your highlight of working with TCS so far?
I think my highlights are always just the trips that we go on, because we have to go for a day or 2 days, we end up just doing random things the day after. When we went to, was it the Luca Awards? Then we went to the zoo afterwards. Accounting Excellence. Went to Accounting Excellence, then went to the zoo the next day. And so those are always fun. So I just going on the trips, getting to see everybody and do fun things.
So
Dress up, yeah, we get to wear nice dresses.
is it safe to say then being an accountant / bookkeeper isn't all that boring?
No, I don't think so. I think it's we make it fun, we make it exciting.
If you find the right group.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
definitely.
Yeah.
If someone had said to me 5 years ago, "Oh, you're going to be a bookkeeper," I'd be like, "No, that sounds that sounds boring," but it's definitely not. I think it's definitely the team makes it fun.
Awesome. Tim, what's the future of TCS hold for you?
I've always been really bad at planning what we're going to do next.
Well, it all happens by chance by the sounds of it.
Well, no, it kind of does in a way. And everyone always goes on about the importance of a plan. And I generally don't have one. I just want to keep improving on everything that we do and growing in a sort of, relatively sustainable fashion. And then we get opportunities come up to do new stuff, and then we examine whether we should do the new stuff, right? So we're launching this sort of UK practice, which we'll, I'm sure, talk more about. That's because an opportunity has come up to do that, right? That's not something that there was no master plan. We then had to make a master plan. I say we, Millie did. But I don't have this, right, okay, in 2027 we're going to do this, and in 2030 we're going to do this, and also I might be dead, who knows. So you can't always plan meticulously for the future, because what's going to happen, right? You don't know. So as long as, even if there isn't a big clear goal, as long as you're working towards intermediate goals, does that make sense? Yeah. I want to grow by 20% in the next 4 years or something. That's still a good goal to have. That's not saying you're only going to do that. But what I'm not doing is I'm not saying, I want to sell the business when I'm 49 or whatever. And I know a lot of people that do that, and that's cool if that works for them. But I think people shouldn't feel pressured to have an ultimate goal, because we know people that we've met through ICB who are perfectly happy just continuing to do what they're doing and just providing really great service to their clients. And a lot of these are the sole practitioners. A lot of them don't necessarily want or need or feel pressured into a goal or a sale or whatever. They're just they're happy just continuing the service that they provide, and that's fantastic, right? Because you shouldn't feel any pressure just because of what other people are doing. Same time, you've got other people who are really, really excited because they've got some financial backing and they're buying like 5 new practices and they're launching a new podcast and they're launching a new course and they're launching a new book and all of that, and that's perfectly, you know, that's really good for that person, but one size doesn't fit all. And I think that that's something that I'm like quite a strong believer in, and that ICB kind of pushes as well, is that there's no right or wrong way to do this. Like, the only wrong way to do it is if you're literally doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, and it's like this whole argument, for example, about, you know, oh, everyone should be on cloud software and no one should be using anything on premise anymore. So, yeah, I probably agree with that. But also, if your practice uses on premise software and that works for you and your clients, why not? Like, crack on. Don't care if it's cloud-based or not. You're probably spending way less on subscriptions than the rest of us, but you've got the inconvenience of not being able to log in from just anywhere. But if that works for you and your clients, perfect, right? There's no right and wrong way to do any of this stuff. The only wrong thing is, you know, like literally like getting the numbers wrong. The way you arrive at the numbers, as long as they're right at the end, that's down to you and what suits your practice.
100%. Love that.
Intro to the dogs. Excuse me, dog, what do you think about making tax digital for income tax? Doggo, what do you think about...
Yeah, I agree.
Millie, I heard you...
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Talking about...
scene.
As we're talking about the future, let's talk about the fact that you guys seem to have big plans ahead for bringing new people to this industry. What are the plans? Talk me through it.
So something that Tim has been very good at building TCS is investing in the team. So everyone is doing ICB qualifications, and it's kind of accidentally made a pattern where we recruit, they do ICB qualifications, and then they get promoted as TCS grows. So we've kind of just decided to formalise that into an official trainee scheme,
I love that.
which is open for applications at the moment, closing this week. So we'll have our first trainee scheme member start in September, and they'll immediately start their level 2 ICB certificate and then grow with TCS as we grow. So that kind of is a bit of an official plan looking to the future, just formalising how we've been doing it.
Basically, what I hear is, Tim, it just happens. Millie actually plans.
Well, kind of. No, it's but also it's not fair of me to say that I don't have a plan, because I do plan things out, but I tend to look at what we're going to do in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't have like a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan, right? The overall plan of more trainees and recruitment, training more people. It's the dog's going off on one. The dog's really angry. It's quite a selfish thing, actually, to like recruit only trainees, because of the amount of satisfaction you get from the fact that you taught, whether you taught them directly or whether, you know, in my case, I taught Millie everything, who taught everyone else everything. And I'm not conceited enough to say I taught Millie everything she knows, but a good chunk of it, right? You know, in fairness, some of it you learned independently on your own by doing ICB qualifications, but a good chunk of it I taught Millie, Millie taught Hannah, right? Hannah taught Zoe, and so on and so forth. So that's really satisfying. Like, it's like that episode of Friends where they can't think of something that's truly selfless because it still makes you feel good, right? Yeah. But I also think that it is really important. We constantly hear doom and gloom on podcasts and in Accounting Web and LinkedIn about how there's no trainees, right? And in 10 years' time, we're all screwed because AI isn't going to quite be good enough, right? And we're all going to be like, accounting's dead because there are not enough trainees. And then you've got people complaining about, and I know there are pros and cons to it, but you get people complaining about the removal of the apprenticeship scheme, right? A lot of people are looking at this all wrong, right? We're going to hire someone and we're going to pay them probably initially not that far above the base rate, okay, because we're also paying for their qualifications and their learning, right? But we've never had like an apprenticeship rate in Guernsey, right? When they're saying, oh no, the apprenticeship's been withdrawn, what they mean is, oh no, I can't pay someone £4 an hour to do this for the first year anymore. Whereas actually, if your business is making money in a sustainable fashion, you should at least be able to afford minimum wage, at least, right? So employ that person and get them trained and train them up and have them being productive in your business. Millie was productive in TCS from day one. Well, probably about day 3 actually, but not.
Make coffee.
There wasn't 6 months of bookwork and training before she started becoming productive, right? Same with Hannah. Hannah originally joined as an admin assistant, so Hannah's first jobs was it was scanning and it was, you know, not filing, but, you know, and going to collect paperwork and cashing up and banking and stuff like that, productive from day one, okay? And I think that the problem, especially with the Big Four, it's not that there are not trainees, it's that they're doing it wrong. Because nobody wants to come and do just bank recs for 6 months, and then maybe they get to do some AP for 6 months, and then maybe if they're really, really lucky, they'll get to be an auditor for a couple of years. And then one day, when you've accrued quite a lot of training debt and done a load of very, very difficult exams, maybe you'll be able to call yourself a chartered accountant, and then you'll be burnt out by the first tax period and leave and go to industry for a massive pay rise and become a financial controller. That pathway is just so out of date.
Yeah, it needs modernising, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of out of date, Hannah.
Hello.
So, Millie's got this master plan to bring people into the industry, into your TCS family.
Yeah.
Who are you looking for from your point of view? Obviously, these guys have got a very strict, they want these type of people, but what do you want? Who complements the team?
I think we've been very lucky in that the people that we've hired are all kind of very similar to us already. We do try and have a bit of diversity, but sometimes it just happens they're all young girls that come to the office.
Honestly, not on purpose.
No, I think it's just we're all young, so we attract what we are almost.
We're all young.
Yeah, you're young. You're one of the girls.
Didn't you say that TikTok's kind of like a place where you've got your last hire from, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
because of TikTok, so.
Yeah, I think that's also a fact. Like, we're going to hire young people because you have TikTok, Tim, but not many older people than us would have TikTok necessarily, so they might not see it. And so if they're applying for it because they've seen it on TikTok, they're going to be around our age. So that's just how it's going to be. But we don't mind. We're quite welcoming. We'll take whoever wants to apply. We've had a good few applications, so
They've got like dogs, right?
yeah. Although, to be fair, I'll out myself here. When I first started, the question was, do you like dogs? And I said I prefer cats, but I can be swayed. And I've definitely become more of a dog person now.
You love Crumpet.
I do love Crumpet, yeah. And Barnum. And Fergus, like the 3 times I've seen him.
Nice. Okay, I've got a challenge for you. Are you free up for a challenge?
Go on.
You got a nod because you two aren't mic'd. So, I've got a challenge. We have devised a bingo card, and on that bingo card are going to be EPOS-styled bingo squares.
Bingo things.
Bingo things. We'll work on the title later down the line. You guys have got to challenge yourself to use the island to go and find ways in which you can tick off as many boxes you can, and hopefully get yourself a line or a full house, something like that. You up for it?
Is there a
Absolutely.
prize? Or...
Yeah,
Oh, there's
Yeah.
definitely a prize.
There's a prize.
Yeah,
Do we know the
you may have
prize?
already had it. It's Toblerone.
Okay.
We can find a better prize.
No,
don't worry.
that's a good prize. That's a good prize. I love
Well,
Toblerone.
actually, no. The prize is, as a Cool Friends episode, you'll get yourself a TCS card. So
That's exciting.
we'll make sure you
That
get
is
that over to you.
exciting.
So let's go explore the island of Guernsey and find out if we can complete these bingo challenges. You up for it?
Yep.
Cool. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Let's go. Bat.
Now. Vámonos.